Come down the thumb, then I can do bigger crossing over movements. Whereas at the very tip, I'm doing more like projecting energy into there. I'm letting him breathe into it. And again, I'm monitoring his breath at the same time, so he's doing pretty well. He's got, but I'm always ready to come and do assisted belly breathing at any stage. So now I want to see what's going on through here. So I'm just doing what I call a first run. So again, it shouldn't be too intense, but I can already feel like his hand's starting to shake. A little bit firmer there. Is that okay, Jim?
Yep.
Again, I'm just projecting, closing once I've got my spot, I'm closing my eyes so I can see better. And I'm feeling the energy coming into my hand on that side as we move it. Because his hand is extremely, what I call supercharged. That's why you can see it already starting to vibrate. So I'm just holding.
Can I get a towel, please?
Yep.
Just feeling a little bit.
It's a little bit chilly, yeah, sorry.
Jeez.
And over his feet as well. So you see, I'm keeping my direct contact with that spot, but sometimes I change the angle ever so slightly. It's like my energy's being projected into there. And again, boom, I'm feeling it coming into my hand already. And I'm watching his breathing. How's that, Jim? Are you warm enough now?
Yeah.
Just let us know if you get cold, mate.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to come, because this area is really important, but I'm going to just let that shaking move a little bit in his hand. And I'm going to, but you can see already it's like, now I'm coming in here, and you can see I'm really only a couple of millimeters. And then I'm not moving across the skin, I'm moving the skin across the band of tension or the blockage in the energy circuit.
So you're moving the skin across the band?
Yes. See how I'm keeping, even here, I can just move the, that still helps to disperse it. Again, I can check in with him. Jim, how's that pressure?
Yeah, good.
Good. That okay?
Yep. 7,
Okay.
7.5.
Yep. I don't want him tightening up against me. Him tightening up against me blocks the release of the energy. And this is what I call just a first run. Okay, even though I'm doing that, it's just taking the outer layer off. And again, it can get very jammed as this band hits the first knuckle. So what I can do is actually, again, change my angle. But what's dominating, what's the factor that's most important is my awareness of where his blockage is. Because it feels quite blocked to me there. And then patience and perseverance, holding that spot and then moving trying to do whatever I can to get that to let go. And actually, you must sense it, right? Never just go through the motions, especially with chopsticks. You must sense what you're doing. Again, I'm paying attention to his breathing. As I come here, I can just do a few bigger, wider strokes, and I'm not spending much time there. Because if this isn't releasing, it's still held here. And whatever percentage I get out of here, if I get 10 or 20% out, I should get 10 or 20% out of here. And so that's why, because he's tightened all the bands, I'm gonna then come in here. Notice I'm a few millimeters below his nail bed there. And the first thing, being the end of a band, I'm just bringing awareness through the chopstick. It's like an amplified awareness. I'm letting him breathe into it. And ever so slight movements. You see the slightest bit of movement? I'm not moving the chopstick over the skin. I'm moving the skin over the energetic band there. And then I'm changing my angle. So by changing it from being straight to a slight 5 or 10 degree change, I'm pushing that energy that way. You never want to push energy this way. Where's it got to go? Nowhere. It pools. So you see how I've got a slight angle now? I'm not just going straight down, but I'm going slightly this way. And again, I'm listening to his breathing, and this is the most I want to work right now. I'm just holding it. And again, being the first time I've worked with Jim, I can always just check in on a verbal communication level and go, how's that for you, Jim, out of 10? If 10 is, as you know, 10 is where you're going to tighten up against me.
That's an 8. A
Okay.
4 was about, you would nudge it at 10.
Yeah. Again, holding, letting him breathe into it.
Fuck.
Easing off ever so slightly. Letting him breathe. Maybe even taking that off, and just letting him catch up with his breath a bit.
Literally millimeters, right?
Yep. Yep. And in terms of pressure, like slightest bits of difference have gone from a 6 to a 12. Right? So that's why I say sensitivity. Without sensitivity, a chopstick's dangerous. Or, it could also be ineffective if you're going too light with a person, right? But it's, again, me bringing awareness to not just where he's tight, but where, think about it, you're better off thinking, because is this tight? What's tightness mean when you're coming down into here? No, think about it as where he's got an energetic blockage. We bring awareness to it, and through his breathing and awareness, he lets it go. And you can see the slightest, like I was starting to try and get into there, but you can also see he's starting to flinch against me, right? Make sure you breathe as well when you're treating. Don't get so caught up in it, Okay, especially when it's such intensity, okay? And don't rush. Let him have a few breaths in between, okay? That's where a lot of the healing takes place as well, where he's able to process, not just when you're working on it. And again, that's that paying attention. His breath is doing a lot of the work here. And I could even just come and go, okay, that's so charged for him, right? That I might just do some other moves for a minute, just to sort of like, let's move that joint side to side, right? Supporting below the joint and moving that thumb. Creating a different sort of movement. So again, it's, for people, this is where you'll find the crunchiness if people develop arthritis. Right? And this is the most fantastic way to prevent arthritis, in my opinion. I might also, see, I've worked this band a bit, I've worked this band, haven't done this one, a bit here, but it's so charged on here. So give him a rest from the chopstick and come over to this other band that I worked, but just using my finger and crossing over slightly. So it's a bit more nurturing in a sense, my finger. It's still intense.